Geezer Butler using AI outrage, Rob Halford still inspires, and Megadeth are bringing their fans down to earth. Metal is life and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here you go. Beardless ZZ Top. American blues rocker ZZ Top's mastermind Billy Gibbons made a rather interesting revelation about the most noticeable feature of the band. In a recent James Moore podcast, Gibbons revealed that Gillette marketologists made them a very lucrative offer when the razor giant offered $1 million to each of the ZZ Top band members if they would have agreed to shave their legendary long beards.
He put the razor in your hand and said, "Now let's begin."
Yet, of course, despite that being a huge amount of money, both members decided to decline the offer, which, according to Gibbons, actually played quite well for them, as most of their loyal diehard fans started respecting them even more. Including me. I really do respect that choice, of course. But on the other hand, come on, that would have been one of the best ads ever made in the history of advertising.
Stupid looking, beardless.
Here guys, super quick, it's the first Metal Digest of this year, so I just wanted to point out that only around 30% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to this channel, so if you're not one of those, and especially if this is not the first video you're watching here, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. The Geezer Butler AI outrage. Black Sabbath legend Geezer Butler has revealed that he's been using an AI-generated singer during the songwriting process for his upcoming solo album. And I think that everyone understands that that news caused a serious outrage among the fans and musicians. Speaking at a Q&A session in late 2025, Butler explained that since the final Black Sabbath show at Back to the Beginning, he's been revisiting decades worth of unfinished material. Yet the main obstacle for him, according to Geezer, was the whole fact that he does not really have a vocalist to work with regularly. And his solution was to use an AI voice to bring out melodies and lyrics purely as a demo tool, so that he can later on present fully formed ideas to real musicians, and stressed gazillion times that AI will not be used in the final versions of those songs. Yet nevertheless, the reaction online has been fierce. A lot of fans and plenty of musicians have openly questioned the decision, pointing out that countless singers would gladly record demos for a legend like Geezer Butler, many of whom without asking for a single dollar, with most of them being specifically outraged by the whole fact that it was the forefather of heavy metal Geezer Butler who decided to do that, calling it an unnecessary shortcut in a genre built on human expression.
If you don't like it, you can suck it, honestly.
And here's the thing, I'm actually quite divided on this decision myself. I mean, on one hand, I simply cannot support using AI for creative purposes, like, at all, under any circumstances. Well, almost. But on the other, well, Geezer did point out that he's not really using it for creative purposes. He's using it simply as an instrument. Somewhat like a MIDI keyboard, which, by the way, for a fact, when it had just come out, caused a huge outrage as well. That's just for the record. And Geezer did stress out like gazillion times that he's not gonna be using AI in the final versions of those songs. So yeah, I'm quite divided. And that's why I actually need your help deciding whom to blame. No, seriously, what do you guys personally think? I mean, do you support Geezer in this decision? Or do you support the musicians who are simply outraged by it? Please let us know in the comments. I'm actually really curious to find out, because this is a bit of a gray area. Although, to be honest with you, I was actually quite surprised to hear that someone like Geezer Butler would actually consider going there. And here guys, just wanted to point out that this Metal Digest was actually supposed to be significantly longer. I was going to talk about the new incredible album by Beyond the Black in depth. I was supposed to have a metal chat with a special guest, as always, but well, something happened. And in case you guys are not subscribed to my Instagram account, well, this is what happened. This is an apartment building right next to mine. This is the damaged entrance to the bomb shelter from which I record many of the videos for you guys. And this is an post office. As you can see, the glass is shattered from which I sent many of the merch orders. And this night it got attacked. This residential building got attacked by a very high precise drone system, and they did the most cruel thing imaginable. They launched an attack here, waited until the medics and the rescuers came, and then launched another attack on them. Ended up killing several people here. So guys, please don't forget that what is going on here is absolutely insane. And keep supporting Ukraine in any way you can. Metal Digest will be a little bit late this week. Slava Ukraini. So guys, apologies, but this Metal Digest is going to be slightly shorter than usual. But I hope that we will pick it up next week. Remembering Phil Lynott. A very special concert took place this January 4th in Dublin, Ireland, marking the 40th anniversary of the passing of Phil Lynott, the legendary frontman of the iconic Thin Lizzy. A plethora of artists performed on the show. Some of them, like Ricky Warwick and Marco Mendoza, are former Thin Lizzy members, and both of them were parts of a supergroup together with Richard Fortus from Guns N' Roses. Another ex-Lizzy member, Darren Wharton, performed with his other band, titled Renegade, while Thin Lizzy founding guitarist Eric Bell joined them on stage as a special guest, making it one of the most memorable and touchy performances of the night. Guitarist Lawrence Archer performed with yet another Phil Lynott's former band, Grand Slam, and on top of it all, a 45-piece RTE orchestra added a new dimension to Lizzy's classic tracks, doing so with a great respect to one of the most legendary and one of the most influential bands in the history of rock music. And by the way guys, this week in honor of Phil Lynott, I actually released a special episode on how Def Leppard played their part in disbanding Thin Lizzy back in the 1980s, and I'm about to release a new one on Thin Lizzy's influence on the world of heavy metal. So if you missed that one, I will definitely check it out after watching this Metal Digest. But today I just wanted to point out that, well, all of us metalheads around the world today should just remember the great Phil Lynott, one of the only true rockers who truly lived and breathed everything rock and roll. As the truth is that, well, unfortunately, I have no idea whether we will ever get anyone like him, Lemmy, and all the other true rock and roll heroes at some point in the future. Tireless Doug. This week, a debut studio album by a side project of Saxon's guitarist Doug Scarrot, titled Wenger, has finally seen the light of day. Doug Scarrot formed Wenger in 2024, and until now they've released 4 singles: Impaler of Souls, Pharaoh's Curse, Navigate the Labyrinth, and From Worlds Unknown. And this album, titled Times of Legends, was released on Silver Lining Records, so the same record label that Saxon themselves work with, and is a collection of tales inspired by a wide range of sources: history, folklore, fantasy, and even console games. But the craziest thing is that Wenger are actually already working out some touring plans and are even thinking about their second album already. And according to Doug Scarrot, this project is a bit more atmospheric kind of metal, edging a bit further into the cinematic dimensions, which of course is pretty cool. But the biggest question I personally have is, how the flip Doug even has time for all that? As just a reminder, as his main project, Saxon is literally one of the hardest working bands in heavy metal overall, who in addition to touring globally, basically non-stop, are also releasing albums one after another. And all of those are pretty awesome. So first of all, congrats to Doug on the release, and secondly, well, thank you man, for being such a tireless metalhead who continues giving this wonderful gift of music to us even after all these years. Now the time has come for your favorite part of the video, so let's take a look at 5 latest metal releases from this week, which although did not get their own segments in this video, are still definitely worthy of your attention. Ukrainian metalcore force Space of Variations is back with crushing new single Ghost Town. According to the band, the track reflects post-traumatic struggles, inner conflict, and emotional numbness after loss. A stark and powerful visualizer accompanies the single, available now on YouTube. German symphonic metal mainstays Beyond the Black dropped their 6th studio album Break the Silence via Nuclear Blast. The album blends soaring melodic power with darker textures and features guest appearances from Chris Harms from Lord of the Lost and Asami of Love Bites, adding depth to an already expansive sound. British heavy metal revitalists Tailgunner unveiled Eulogy, the final single ahead of their sophomore album Midnight Blitz, due February 6th via Napalm Records. Described as a powerful blend of orchestral grandeur and new wave of British heavy metal grit, the track is once again produced by none other than Judas Priest legend KK Downing. American hard rock outfit Alter Bridge released their self-titled 8th studio album via Napalm Records. The record was recorded in spring of 2025 at the legendary 5150 studios in Los Angeles and in Florida with longtime producer Michael Elvis Baskin, and features 12 new tracks that the band says blend their core sound with a fresh energy, including their songs like Rue the Day, Trust in Me, and the epic closer Slave to Master, with the new album serving as a statement of where the band stands 2 decades into their career. Dutch symphonic metal icons Within Temptation teamed up with Swedish alt-electro outfit Smash Into Pieces for Somebody Like You, a collaborative single that fuses Sharon Dundell's emotional vocals with modern synth textures and cinematic dynamics. The track continues Within Temptation's streak of genre blending. Rob Halford still inspires.
I know you're waiting for me, saying
This week, Rob Halford has reached a powerful milestone, celebrating 40 years of his sobriety. And in honesty, this is the kind of news that truly inspires.
Do it!
In a recent message, the Judas Priest frontman reflected on the decision he made in 1986, calling it a turning point that completely changed his life. Halford also spoke candidly about the recovery as an ongoing commitment, not something to be romanticized or taken for granted. And he also recalled his first sober Judas Priest show in May of 1986 in Albuquerque, describing it as terrifying but transformative, yet the moment that confirmed that he was on the right path, the path that has given him clarity and a full presence in his own life. And if we're being very honest, gave us the Judas Priest we know today. Let's be honest here. If Rob Halford would not have gotten sober back in 1986, well, we most likely would never have heard Painkiller and gazillion other incredible albums we love this band for. And of course, Rob also used this occasion to encourage anyone struggling with addiction, stressing that recovery is possible and that taking things one day at a time truly matters. But the coolest thing that he kinda didn't do that in a patronizing way. Quite the opposite. He is very open in sharing his own story. And in my opinion, this is truly inspirational. So from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of all the metal pilgrims around the world, thank you, Rob. Thank you for being true to yourself and to your loyal diehard fans around the world. And for doing everything you can to give us the best Judas Priest experience a fan could ask for.
killing pain.
The Metal Church drama. Former Metal Church vocalist Mark Lopez has finally addressed his departure from the band back in 2025. And according to Mark, well, it wasn't really a clean or respectful split. Lopez says things started going downhill after the band cancelled their 2024 tour due to Kurt Vanderhoof's health issues, and what followed was months of poor communication, unresolved internal tensions, and failed attempts to openly discuss the future of the band, which Lopez says he deliberately stayed quiet about because he truly believed that the situation could be still fixed behind the scenes. And according to him, he found out about a new metal church lineup from the internet, together with all of the fans.
Wait a minute!
Lopez of course didn't really hide his frustration, calling the situation disgusting, and stressed that the real issue wasn't being replaced, but the complete lack of honesty and basic respect. Yet of course he thanked his fans for their support and said that he still values the work he did with the band, with whom he was able to record just one album, even though this split was actually rather ugly. Puppet show Megadeth. As Megadeth prepare for their final tour, Dave Mustaine is being very clear about one thing, which, if we're being very honest, kinda goes against what many Megadeth fans have been hoping for. But nonetheless, we should not expect a parade of former band members joining Megadeth on stage. Mustaine explained that the band has already had its moment of looking back, including the highly publicized return of Marty Friedman, which, for the record, I actually had a chance to witness, and it was simply incredible. But to Dave, that actually already felt like a proper closure of that period of Megadeth. And so going forward, he doesn't see any reason to turn the farewell run into a constant rewind of Megadeth's lineup history, or what he rather bluntly called a puppet show Megadeth. Whatever that means. In addition to that, Dave kind of self-ironically pointed out that Megadeth have had so many band members that it would be simply impossible to invite them all to join Megadeth on stage, and so instead this tour will firmly focus on the current lineup and what the band is today. As for Mustaine, this final chapter is about closing the band's history with clarity and intention, and which I totally understand. But if we're being very honest, many of us Megadeth fans actually did kind of hope to see a couple of former band members, and not only Marty Friedman, joining Megadeth on stage at some point during that tour. So who knows? Maybe for the final ever concert, which, just a reminder, may take place on the moon, Dave will actually change his mind. But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like it, comment under it, of course, join the channel and subscribe to it, and of course, join our communities on Instagram, X, Threads, Facebook, Discord, where else? I mean, anywhere you can post content these days. Thank you guys so much for watching and all your support, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!